Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? This is Katherine D. Graham. I'm super excited to be here with everybody. We're about to bring in C.K. Sorens for our special interview. Let's see if I can get her on the screen.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Sorry, I'm editing, so
Oh
I
no,
lost
it's fine.
it.
I'm editing today too. Oh, it's that time of year where it's like it's all got to be done.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
so it's so good to have you. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited. I always love coming to a live with you.
Oh, I love chatting with you live. For those who don't know, CK and I are on a joint project, which we'll talk about a little bit.
A couple.
Yeah, a couple joint projects. So we chat a lot, but really these lives are one of the only times we really like talk face to face. So this is
Hmm.
nice.
Yeah.
so, so, CK, why don't you introduce yourself to the viewers who are watching and who haven't met you yet?
Okay. My name is Carrie. I write as C.K. Sorens. I would like to write. Well, we're gonna have to change that from young adult and new adult, urban fantasy. I like gritty worlds where people are like stuck in situations that they have to claw themselves out of. So it's my favorite genre to actually dig into and write. I have two novels published. I have Trimarked and Afflicted, and I'm currently working on a new series start called 18 Wishes, which is my new adult, and I'm very excited about that one. It's got my heart.
And we actually know the title now. So if you watched the channel earlier this year, you might remember that CK or Carrie. I never know who wants to be called by their name. So
Yeah.
you might know that Carrie joined us in January for our kickoff for the whole year. And we were all not able to talk a whole lot about our secret projects at that point. So here we are almost 6 months later, and the beans are spilled.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is a genie story.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it. It's a romance, so it's a departure from my true urban fantasy, which with Trimarked, which doesn't have very much romance in it at all. Um, and it's just been fun to write. You know, it's genies in Las Vegas, and they're fluid characters, so they don't have to look human. They don't have to be set in any form or attitude or mindset. And so it's just been really fun to play with characters like that.
So what inspired you to go that direction
Mhm.
as opposed to like Trimarked, which is like you said, not a whole lot of romance, very urban, classic urban fantasy with a dark tinge to it for YA.
Right. Well, when I agreed to join this Realm of Darkness box set, which is what this story is for, it's a paranormal or fantasy romance box set. I went through all my old stuff as I usually do, trying to get ideas, and I came across this genie story that I had written quite a long time ago, and I really like loved it, but I couldn't actually recreate it for this. And so I decided to start from scratch and really started to dig into genie lore and jinn lore. And I watched Aladdin.
Oh, yay! The
Yeah,
cartoons are the new live action.
exactly. And this world just started to build up in my head. In fact, my villain Jin is a blue genie with a nod to Genie from Genie is also my villain Genie is named Jan, and they are non-binary, and it's also kind of a nod towards Robin Williams, who was he was I believe right he was gay. He was married to a man.
I honestly don't know, and I feel bad.
I
My
know. I'm
my
gonna
geek
Google that
level
too.
just fell.
I know. I'm sorry, and this is live too, so I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now. But
But that is okay. That's okay. It's still, I think, a great tribute to a wonderful man and a wonderful
yes,
actor.
Yeah.
And if you're watching and you know, you can drop in the comments for us because we are streaming live to
Yes.
Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. And if you're watching the replay and nobody's put it in the comments yet, you can put it in the comments.
Yeah. And I
But
will
yeah.
acknowledge either way. That's actually one of the things that I am working on that is new for me with this novel is because it is, they are characters that come from backgrounds that I'm not used to. I'm looking for sensitivity readers so that before the book even goes out, I have the feedback from people who have more knowledge on these things than I do, where I would definitely have to research and still guess. So it's more of like a streamlined, my unconscious biases are pointed out to me so that I can make sure that I'm giving the best book that I can for this audience.
That's wonderful. So, for those who are watching who don't know, both on the writer side and the reader side, what is a sensitivity reader and where do you find them?
A sensitivity reader is kind of a beta reader with a specific purpose to read on those perspectives that you yourself are not part of. So whether it's people of color or it's the LGBTQ culture, not culture. See, I'm already stumbling over my words, but those perspectives that you're not used to, even cultural perspectives. So like my genies, my master, he is descendant from the Arabian Peninsula, but he is U.S. So I will also be reaching out for people of color sensitivity readers on that aspect as well to make sure that that is clear and concise, because very clearly I'm stumbling as it is even trying. So I want to make sure that it's not just a try, that it's worked out by the time it goes into print.
Yeah, and I love that it's so respectful because, like you said, we tend to be in the culture we're brought up in, and sometimes those biases can be unconscious. And so, just to know that one, we're working in characters so that people can read and see themselves in a book is so important, but also doing it justice by getting the feedback from the outside.
Right. We want to be
Audience is great
inclusive.
too.
We don't want to be, putting our stamp on it. We want to make sure that we're bringing truth to our stories.
That's right. So you've got a lot in the works. I know when we talked to you in January, it was a year of writing ahead, and now you're obviously at least in the editing phase. You've already released the second volume of Trimarked.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How did that go?
It went really well, actually. I was very pleased and surprised. As like a brand new indie author, my voice and my platform are still pretty small right now. And just the number of people who came forward to help and to share and to spread the word it was very touching and humbling. And it also showed all the work I've put in the last 2 years to build these relationships. And it was just like such a great time to enjoy the progress and enjoy the success that I had at the time with Afflicted and Trimarked. So it was great. I really did have a lot of fun. Met a lot of new people too along the way, and so I'm excited about that. Yeah, like one of the giveaways in which Trimarked was in introduced me to someone you already knew, C.H. Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I've had such a fantastic time getting to know him, and and in fact, one of the reasons we're talking today right now is because of this event that he put together.
Right. Yes.
So,
The Kindle Countdown Week,
yes.
which is awesome. And for those of you who are watching and don't know, as Carrie just said, we're doing a Kindle Countdown Week with C.H. Smith and a whole bunch of other authors from a whole bunch of different fantasy genres. There is fantasy romance in here, there is epic fantasy in here, there is middle grade, young adult. It just varies greatly, and they're all, I believe, 99 cents on the Kindle sale this week. So the link to all the books that are participating is in the description box on the YouTube channel, and it should also be in the description on Facebook. If you're watching on Twitter, I can't preload those links, so you would need to hop over to either my website or Facebook or YouTube to grab those. But Carrie, how long is yours going to be on 99 cents? Because I know we've got them staggered, so not everybody's is going to be 99 cents the whole week.
Right. I was able to get in for the whole 5 days. So it's Monday through Friday. That Trimarked, the first book in my young adult urban fantasy series, will be on sale for 99 cents.
Yeah, so it's on sale now. So everybody can run and get a
Right.
99-cent copy of the first one, and the second one's out, so you don't even have to wait.
15 minutes when we're done.
And then, so when is number 3 coming out? Do we know yet?
It is, I'm in the process of reworking my outline, for the whole series. It's been fun. And to be honest, part of that is because every single book you learn something new, right? And I was able to step out of Trimarked and go into Las Vegas with 18 Wishes and learn some more. And so now I'm rethinking my series of events and how it should go. But it is going to be, if not next year, then early the year after that book 3 will be out. The goal is next year, but life happens, and I don't like to push my books.
Oh,
I like
no.
to take my time and make sure that they go through all the steps until they have to be ready, and they have to be
That's
ready
right.
for each step. Mm-hmm.
So we got Trimarked out already, and then Afflicted, which is the second volume in that series. It just came out this year. We've got 18 Wishes coming up in the Realm of Darkness set in October, and then hopefully 3 maybe next year. But one of the reasons I love doing these lives is so that readers can connect with other indie authors in the same genre too. So if you read Carrie's books and you get hooked, check out the other lives coming on this week, because maybe you can pick up some other books to fill in those gaps this year.
Yeah.
And I love that you've got an extra poster. This is a Carrie Easter egg. So each of those posters is a cover design.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And 18 Wishes is up there.
It is. I'm so excited. I love this cover so much. In fact, my editor, who looked over 18 Wishes, she emailed me right away with big exclamation point. That is perfect for 18 Wishes. And so it was. It is. It's up there. I'm excited. I couldn't wait. Usually these are my gift to myself after I published. But I couldn't wait with this one. I wanted to get it up. I wanted it for cover reveal. So yes, now it's up on my wall, and the cover has been revealed on my Instagram and Facebook, along with the blurb.
Oh, Mandy says it's a gorgeous cover.
Thank you, Mandy.
Yes. Who's your designer? Or are you allowed to say?
I'm allowed to say it's Rebecca Kenny. I found her. I believe it's RFK Designs on Facebook, but she has closed commissions right now. So I was able to get in just before, but she's definitely worth following for when she opens commissions again, because she does amazing work.
It's beautiful. I love your covers in general, and that one, I think it just shows the difference in feel from the books too. Trimarked has a very specific feel, which is great, and then we've got 18 Wishes, which brings in that sort of mysterious genie romance vibes. I'm loving it. So if you're watching and you have questions, that we're doing this live so we can answer your questions live, whether about writing or publishing or the books themselves, or CK, like beautiful covers. But what has been the biggest difference for you working with sort of a traditional press setup for the box set for Realm of Darkness, like having the deadlines, having to get the professional editing, I mean, which a lot of indie authors do, but some, use software and stuff, and this one, we're required to get the professional editing and done. And so how has that been different than working on like the Trimarked series?
I've from the beginning gotten professional editing done. So in that aspect, it's not too different. I mean, there are things like I use software for my line edits, but then I still send it out for checks again. So, but what has been the biggest change for me is the timeline. The not being able to, well, I should say it's all about feeling, because nothing is actually um, blown up in my face or anything, but I feel like it's tighter. I feel the urge to check and see if there are steps I can combine or skip or something like that in order to, because I usually I found that 18 months was a good timeline for me. And this has been a year. So I'm trying to find where those 6 months are coming from. And so what I have found actually is I joined a writers group, Quilling Cup, and they keep me accountable. They keep me coming back to the page, but not only that, they make sure I take breaks when I need them. It's a big part. It's the cup part of Quilling Cup, to make sure that we take our breaks. And just remind me to have fun with it and find the joy in my story rather than focus on the work of my story. So being able to do that has helped me find those 6 months that I need in order to get it nice and consolidated.
And I dropped Quill and Cup's website in the
Thank you.
comments for Facebook and YouTube. It's been amazing, really walking through. I've now known Carrie since, oh, goodness, it's been a little over a year now, a year
It's
and some
been
months.
it's been almost 2 years, I think.
it's been, it's just amazing how time goes, and to
Yeah.
see where you grow from and what you grow into in that time is so impressive. Because I remember when we were both getting ready to just put our first books out, and we were like, we're
Yeah.
figuring this out, he he. And now it's
Exactly.
like,
No one looked
ah.
too close.
But it's an adventure, and I think that's something that we had mentioned when we were chatting recently. Is just, if you're new to this as an author or you've been doing this a long time, the types of adventures may change, but it's always an adventure. And if you sort of look at it that way, I feel like it keeps the excitement there, the adventure there, keeps it new. Mandy says, "Yeah, we do."
Yeah. Mandy is one of my hedgie sisters from Quilling Cup. So she's,
Oh, yay!
yeah.
Hi,
So she's
Mandy.
one of my big cheerleaders.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
she's amazing.
so speaking of adventures, you've gotten into audiobooks since we last talked to you in January. Tell us a
Yes,
little bit about that.
I was so lucky. So I don't know how many of you would know Becca Berg, but she is a huge heart in the indie book world. And she's an indie author, and she had a situation in which she needed to get specialized care, and so she had an auction. In this auction, I won 4 hours of audiobook. And
Wow.
yeah, and so I
From
was,
CH, right?
yes, yes. I outbid C.H. Smith
He'll be on
for,
in a few days.
yes, yeah, you can ask him about that. Yes, he teases me quite often. He also thanks me sometimes.
Right.
So, but that got me in contact with Jillian Yetter, who is an amazing voice artist. And then she got me in contact with Rob Brinkman to do the male voices on my, the male chapters in my book. And they have actually completed both Trimarked and Afflicted. Trimarked is up on Audible, and we're working on getting it wide, and we're working on getting Afflicted up too. It's just a few extra steps, and it's our first, books doing it, so we're learning as we go, which is why it's taking a little bit longer. But hopefully once we get that under, I say we because my husband is my partner in crime. He does a lot of this back stuff so that I can focus on the writing. So yeah, so we're still, like I said, we're still learning. We're getting it going. We want to make it available for as many platforms as we can.
That's so exciting. Audiobooks are a big deal, and I know we've gotten several questions in past lives about them. So I actually was honored to bring the narrators up, and let me get the link, I'll drop it in the chat,
Yeah, Jillian was
including
one of the narrators.
Jillian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we just talked about what goes into finding a narrator, what goes into producing an audiobook, what goes into making sure your narrator is properly paid. It was a really interesting session. So if you want to check out that, here is the link to the narrator live.
That was
But
one I was able to
Jillian's,
catch. It was very nice. It was a very interesting one to watch. I learned a lot.
I did too, and I didn't realize that there were different ones for different parts of the world, although that makes sense. And the narrators on were from literally around the world. They were not all in the US. So, yeah, but I'm extremely excited. I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks, but I will make an exception for Trimarked to listen to it.
Yeah.
Jillian has a
Yeah.
great voice too. If you followed her on Instagram and ever hear her little samples or teasers, she's really, really good.
And Rob on his TikTok is hilarious. He does warm up videos with recipes.
Oh, nice.
So he'll read recipes in the different genre voices, and it's amazing to watch.
So, okay. I wonder if we can request him to do like a Hobbit cookbook recipe in like a Lord of the Rings voice.
Ask him. I'm sure he'd be up for it. I
So,
believe his handle
yes.
is read by Rob, is what I believe his handle is.
So, yeah, lots of new adventures, audiobook adventures. You've
Yeah.
got the box set adventures. If you're watching and you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. We'll
Yep.
bring them up. I've got a couple pre-submitted questions from social media from before we started our live, so I'll mention those while other people are asking theirs. One, you sort of hinted at this, but is your Realm of Darkness box set going to book, I guess, going to include any characters from your Trimark series?
No, this is a different universe, a different speculative fiction universe, and they, yeah, they don't really mesh very well. My the magic systems are like the Jinn magic system is based on chakras, and if you are aligned your chakras, then you'll have access to this magic of the universe. Where in my Trimark series, they're actual molecules that you can extract from the environment. So you can extract magic from wood. You can extract magic from the air, and then reshape that into what you want. So no, but I don't know. It would kind of be fun to do a little. I like the idea of doing cross stories and somehow just tossing them into the same area and seeing how the characters react to each other.
Oh,
Like,
that'd be fun.
yeah. Could you? So Miku is Faye from
Right.
Trimark. He is a control freak. Like, right? And if you paired him with this chaotic, I can be anything I want, Jin, see, to me, that's hilarious.
The other question was talking about dark. How dark and steamy is 18 Wishes going to be?
Okay. 18 Wishes is, it's not as dark as Trimarked, but there are elements in it. So the Draconian race is not prolific. And in order to continue their line, they actually sedate the females and then use them entirely as incubators.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so there are dark elements to this story. None of my characters go through that. It's just a driving plot point that makes certain decisions happen. And as for how steamy it is, I think the latest scale I've seen is it's a 2. There is on the page petting, but it's also fade to black. So there are internal thought processes that go on in the decision making process, and as they get to know each other, but it's not like explicit. It's not raw. It's just what a young 18, 20-year-old might think as they're getting to know a new person.
Right, right. Yeah. So if you're watching this and maybe you're coming from the YA books, and stepping up into 18 wishes, that it sounds like a more natural progression. But of course, if you're a parent watching and you're like, oh, is my teenager going to read this? Always use your parental,
Right.
you know,
Right.
I feel
Always
like
know.
what I
Even
might feel okay with for my sons might not be the same as what somebody else is okay with for their kids. So,
right. Exactly.
we've
Yeah.
got, is 18 Wishes only going to be in the box set, or will you also publish it alone at some point?
It is. There's an option to publish it later, but it will be in the box set for a while. And the nice thing about the box set is that it's 99 cents for this box set if you pre-order it, and there are 40 novels in this box set, and I can almost guarantee you that unless it's on sale, 18 Wishes will not be priced at 99 cents if and when I publish it on my own. So yes, I do have the option. It's built into the contract. It depends in part on how well the box set does but then further down the line, it may be something that I'm able to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just dropped the link to that set in the comments too. I realized I got a lot of links in descriptions, but I didn't have the link to the Realm of Darkness set in the description, so I'll
Oh,
have to go back and add that later for people who are
oh.
watching the replay.
And if you're watching right now in May,
Yes.
yes,
Ah!
there is an amazing deal going on. In fact, you can get Trimarked out of it and the vow, right?
And yeah, and my
Yep.
book, The Vow That Twisted Fate, too.
So if you pre-order Realm of Darkness either on iBooks or Nook
Barnes and Noble.
in
Yeah.
in the month of May, then you can submit your receipt and choose between, I don't know how many, but the Realm of Darkness authors have donated their books to give you for free with your pre-order. So Trimarked is one of them. The Vow That Twisted Fate is one of them. There's just an amazing list of authors who want to get our books in your hands. We want you to
Mm-hmm.
have things to read. So that is for this month. I really encourage you to go and do it, especially for if romance is your thing, if paranormal, if fantasy romance is your thing. This is an amazing box set. Again, for 99 cents, there's something for everybody
Oh,
in this
yeah.
set, and
There's
you
like
just
40 books.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been really intrigued. We'll be bringing on some more Realm of Darkness authors between now and when the set goes live, and we're sharing our first chapters in the Facebook Dark Book Boyfriend group and seeing just the different responses to different chapters, because there really is something different for different people, has been so amazing. Like, we've had Casey Freeman, who was on the channel last week for an interview. Her Renegade Angel book is up, which is like, okay, if you like cowboys, you like angels, you might want to read her book. And then I finished doing an edit for Helen's book, which I can't talk about too much because Helen's coming up on the 28th to spill some secrets for us. But it was a totally different sort of setup and maybe feel. And but I can tell you hers also has angels in it. And then mine has pretty much no angels. It's like demon kings, and yours are genies. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
like there's just something in there for everybody.
Yeah, I think there's a mermaid book.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I'm excited about that one. I mean, I
yeah.
want to read them all, but they're all full length novels, so I have no idea how long it's going to take me to read like 40 full length novels.
Well, so I'm thinking it comes out in October, and I'm thinking there are a lot of holidays at that time of year.
That's right.
So we can get through quite a few of them.
Where will Catherine and Carrie be during Thanksgiving holiday? Oh, we'll be
Not
reading.
here.
Oh, so yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us just to chat about what's going on in your writing world and share with us about the audiobook journey and all of that. We are super, super excited to see what happens with your book in the Realm of Darkness set, and
Thank
again,
you.
the Kindle Countdown week that's going right now too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, There's one last question and then
Okay.
we will hop off. It says, will you be doing any more box sets or will this be a one and done? And I think that's funny because we talk about that a
We talk about it
lot.
all the time. Um, I think it's going to depend. It will. I don't want to say a blanket no. And in fact, I am looking at a short story anthology. I would have to come up with an entire new story again. It's for Portal Fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really intrigued by it. So I'm looking into that. Again, that's just short stories. So that's 3,000 to 5,000 words. Um, I don't know. I love the fact that this box set brought 18 wishes in this world into my life.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it took me outside of my box. But I really want to focus on Trimarked. And so that is going to limit me, I think, from going on out now that this is my first box set. So now that I understand the experience and know what is going to come, then I will be waiting for a while at least before I decide to jump into something again.
Sorry. And thank you too. I mean, and I'm not saying sorry because she's in the set, sort of. I sort of dragged Carrie into this amazingly
No,
awesome
you jump
journey.
over it. It is. It is. I don't regret it. I don't. In fact, I'm kind of really happy I didn't know what I was getting myself into because like I said, there have been like this story would have not been. Many of the relationships that I formed would not have been, and it really has been the management, like they know their stuff,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So there's a lot to learn. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication, and that dedication is taking me out of my series, and I want to go back to it. That's it.
Right. So if you're watching this and you're a writer, think about really the time commitment because it is a time commitment and how you're going to work that into your regular books. We got somebody. Hey!
Hi, Shanna.
Shanna's on. Shanna says she loves the Trimark series.
Thank you.
Thank you for
I love the
joining
I love the
us.
Keepers of the Balance series. That's Shanna's books. That's Shanna's books.
So, thank you all so much for joining today, and thank you, Carrie. This has been
Thank
awesome.
you. Yes, like I said, I just love hanging out with you. You make it so relaxing, and it's a lot of fun. It's always a good day when you get an invitation from Kat.
Oh, well, it's just a good party. I've been here with a whole bunch of different authors, and to that effect, if you want to subscribe to my channel or follow me if you're watching this on Facebook or Twitter, we've got 10 straight days of author interviews between what started Saturday and the 30th of the month with a whole bunch of different fantasy authors from a whole bunch of different genres, coincidentally, whose books will mostly be included on that Kindle Countdown week that you can see in the link. But talking about publishing, talking about our books, talking about writing, and answering any questions that you have about any of the above from a whole different perspective because every person's at a different place in their journey. So, thank you all so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you. Bye.